The next factor I want to talk about is your water. So the water quality can make a big difference. And depending on where you live, if you have good tap water, but it's, they're always chlorinated and have chemicals in them. If you have good quality tap water, though, you can leave it on the counter. We have great quality tap water where I'm from, and I just leave it in a big container on the counter, and I make sure it's been sitting there for at least 12 to 24 hours before I use it. I try to go at least 24 hours with the lid open. That way, all of the chlorine off gases, and it's no longer in the water. I've never had an issue with it. I've always had my starters be very, very vigorous and active. So depending on where your water is coming from and the quality of the water, that could influence it. If you are using filtered water that comes from a Brita filter or some kind of carbon filter, that can also influence it. I had a friend who I shared my sourdough starter, and I think we figured out quite quickly that she was using her Brita filter to filter the water, and her sourdough starter was getting runny and just unhealthy. It wasn't healthy at all. She was doing everything else exactly the way that I told her, and it just wasn't working. So just be mindful if you're using filtered water. Sometimes those carbon filters, if they're not changed often enough, or they might just be taking out too much out of the water, because our sourdough starter does need those minerals from the water to keep it healthy. So we don't want the chemicals like chlorine that will kill the microorganisms, but we do want the microorganisms to have the minerals that it needs in order to be healthy. So just be mindful of that, and not to use distilled water, because distilled water does take out all of those minerals, and the sourdough starters need those minerals. The microorganisms need those minerals to be healthy and grow. So water quality, second factor.